Hello, hello. It is Pippa from Ocean Time, and it is Sunday Fun Day, talking all about cruising. Now, I want to know your questions for cruising. That's what I want to know. I just had to look up my calendar for the cruises. So, Halloween Ocean Time Group Cruise is in 104 days. There's still spaces. Get on board. Going later. So I wonder, hi, Matthew, who will be here. And then we have Icon, which is in 279 days away. Yay! All right. So have you guys got any questions? Robert, hello. I'm talking. Hi, Pam. Oh, bless you all for being here. Thank you. I'm talking today about Port Vila. So let's get into that. Royal must like me Royal must like me because they keep giving you credit. Yeah, I don't know what game you're playing. Andrew, hello. Miss Isabel, hello. Hope all is very well. Alrighty, so like I said, talking about Port Vila today. Have you been there? Let me know if you've been to Port Vila. And let me know if you've done a tour, more than one excursion, what you do there. If you've been on an overnight. Matthew's been to Port Vila. Very good. John, did you miss me? Like from this morning? I always miss you, John. Always. So, have you been to Port Vila and have you done tours? Have you stayed overnight? Here's a fun fact for you. I don't know why, but Ovation got to have their tenders until, I want to say 11 o'clock, maybe 10, but I want to say 11. And Quantum, the last tender was at 9. Now, that's a big difference. And that's the thing. Every ship is different and every ship is individual. But for the overnights, like I said, must have been... Anyway, either way, if it was 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night last tender, I want to say 11 for Ovation, and then Quantum was 9 o'clock. And granted, they've been working all day. I don't know how many crew members they have to, they used 5 tenders. But John, Port Vila duty free, fantastic. There you go. I only recently, last season, I had heard about the duty free, but I didn't, I had never been to the duty free. I'd never been downtown actually, and yes, it is worth it. It is convenient where the major shops, you just give them your cabin number or your CPass card and they take care of it all. They ship it off back to the ship for you, which is great. And then you get your alcohol on the last night. So it is worthwhile. Yes, Blue Lagoon Cultural Village and snorkeling tour. Very good. Said hello earlier. Oh, sorry, I didn't see it, John, then. Robert thinks he's been there. So I also have done a tour, went to the Blue Lagoon. Would I go back to the Blue Lagoon? Nah, it's not my thing. I don't need to include that on my tour, I guess that's what I want to say. Previously, we went to the Cascade Waterfalls, went there with the children when they were younger. They enjoyed that. Doing jumping off platforms, had the waterfalls where you could swim under the rock. Again, I wouldn't necessarily go there again. When we booked a tour, we booked it through a third party. It was around $90 per person. You can get cheaper ones that say are $50 per person. But the thing is, when you get to the Blue Lagoon, the waterfalls, then you have to pay entry fee into those places, and it still ends up costing you in total $90 or even $100. So just FYI, if you haven't been there before. What do you think we'll do in October? I'm happy to join. I haven't even looked, Matthew, about ports. Totally up to you. Andrew did sail. Oh, sail and snorkel, nice. However, we never put the sail up or motored. Yeah, okay, got that. Was there a couple of weeks ago? Very true. All the markets in the streets near the wharfs are not there due to landslide after a cyclone. Wow. The markets were set up in town right where the water taxis drop you off. I think that might even be better though. Like that sounds better. I don't necessarily, when the kids were very young, we left the gate of the port at Port Villa. This is when the Voyager could dock there. And the kids were overwhelmed with all the people, taxi, taxi, taxi. So I'm fine that it's actually downtown. And I think it's good for the downtown area as well. Robert, favorite thing to do is to go to Hideaway Island. That's on my list as well, to dive in and post a postcard to the underwater post office and scuba dive at, I can't say that. What Robert says. I've heard that Sail Away Island is a great place. I heard that there was a lot of coral or a little bit of coral bleaching. It's not as good as it was. Definitely any snorkel day is better when the sun is shining and it's not overcast. Also, where you catch the ferry over to Hideaway Island, they do have, is it called the Beach Bar, where they have the nighttime fire dancing on the beach. I would recommend that. It was a great show. You have to pay $10 just to sort of get your seat. They don't take credit cards at the venue. They only take cash. Great pizzas. And that's if you're there for overnight. Starts, what time does it start? I want to say 7. I guess whenever it gets dark, they start. But it's about 25 minutes out of town as well, FYI. John, booked tours from the port, still cheaper than on the ship, even with the add-ons. Yeah, a lot of the group pages now will have tour guides that are in there that will offer their services, or people will promote them, or people will say, oh, we used this person last time and stuff like that. So, Kay, hello. It was much better and safer. Yeah, I agree that the markets, I think, is a great, better place for them in town. Lucy, hello from Darwin. I love Darwin. It might even be my second or third favourite place in Australia. Thomas, hello. We didn't talk about Villa. We don't talk about Villa. Yeah, we do. Me and Thomas were on an overnight. What time was the last tender? Do you remember? And we went on a pub crawl. They do have a pub crawl for daytime, and we were there overnight. So we did the evening pub crawl. There was 9 of us in total, fantastic group of people, had an absolute ball. We went to, I want to say 5 venues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it was only 4 venues. But I would totally recommend it. Oh, that's when we got back, was around 9:30. But the last tender, I'm saying, was 11, I thought. Robert, I have not seen it in the recent past, but they used to have a great helmet dive out on the nice reef. Yeah, actually, I've seen pictures of that too. 11 sounds right. Okay, cool. 4 bars on the island plus the schooner bar. Yes, fair enough. So with the pub crawl, in Port Vila. The first venue we went to was actually a Thai restaurant, but the views from it was magnificent. You could oversee the bay, you could see the ship, the sun was setting. It was spectacular. Loved it. We also the driver took us to another sort of vantage point where we took more photos. Then we went down to the beach. We went to 2 sort of beach bars, and I would go there during the day. Very nice. And then on the way back is a country and western saloon, you could say, and we did a bit of dancing there, some shots. Like I said, I definitely, if I have an overnight again, will be doing the pub crawl. Very cool. Robert, agree, 11 o'clock tender. See? So Ovation, 11 p.m., Quantum, 9 p.m. Big differences, yeah? Okay, I remember you posting these pictures. It looked awesome. Yes, yeah, it was. It was a great tour. What else? Oh, also at Port Vila is half an hour away from Port Vila is Lullapa, Royal Caribbean's new private island. Now, I should have gone there last season and I didn't, but I think I will go this season. So just to see if they have done anything, if there is any construction underway, I'll go check it out. So any people got any questions about Port Vila? I know that John also goes to a cafe, gets free internet, sits down, relaxes. I don't know if it was the last time I was there, but it was very humid. Downtown, I don't think it's really, for me, there wasn't much there. Yeah. Say some of the food stalls or the cafes looked nice. When we were on our day tour, our driver took us, lunch was included, and I think it was meant to be some sort of chicken or a burger or something it was meant to be a barbecue, I think. But they took us and it turned out it was like a local cafe, and we got given, I would call them like a pasty, and it was savory mince pasty, and it was delicious. So that was cool. I can't see any more questions or comments. It's just no one writing. It worries me. There we go. Robert, cheaper taxi down the road past the, taxis and tour area. Bronwyn, hello. Sorry if you've already answered, but has anyone to the beach bar near the Hideaway Bay? Yes, I was talking about the beach bar. It's where they also have the fire dancing at night. It's a nice place. You can go swim on the beach. They have the restaurant there, but they do not take credit cards. So you must have cash. They'll take Aussie, but yes, they don't take credit card. Matthew's going on a cruise in 23 days. Yay! John, get a water taxi, $5 each into town and $5 back. I think it's a beautiful way to get into town. Bronwyn, you're welcome. And also it's about 25 minutes out of town. I think me and Gabrielle, we paid $20. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we paid $20 in town to go out to the beach bar. Do you like my glasses? They're palm trees. I'm all about holidays, vacation. Actually, my earrings, you can't see, but they're palm trees as well. So that's Port Vila. I know Robert does some diving there. Um, what else is there to do in Port Villa? We went to a turtle farm, and I think there's 2 of them. One's better than the other, I hear, and snorkeling is great. You can also pay where you get off the ship or off the tender, and you have the $5 taxis, water taxis to town. You can also go if you're looking out at the water and you've got the ship right in front of you. On the right side, you have the town that the water taxi would go to. But if on the left is sort of some of the bay, but there's a beach over there on the left, and the water taxis can take you to that beach and come back and get you. Jeff, hello, hello. The zip line place is good there, as high up with great views. There you go. Now, I've seen a lot. I just looked up some of the tours. They're all around $100 to $150. Did you see the article about Icon in the paper? Herald Sun here. No, I did not. What did it say? All good things? I've heard recently a lot of chit-chat talk about Icon and being so big and large, and it's like Icon, Titanic, Icon, Titanic. And this one person was like, can you please stop referencing them together? Like, it's so doesn't work like that. Was it Titanic was over 110 years ago, and a lot of things have happened since then. We've come forward in technology for one, and where these ships will be sailing, not many icebergs. And yes, so anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Okay, John, too big, too many people, not very positive. And I'm in a Facebook group of girls who travel kind of thing. And that's what they all said. They were just like, it's too big, too many people. And so what I say to this is, it's too big. Too big for what? Like, Titanic could be too big. Voyager could be too big. Oasis class could be too big. Too big for what? Well, why is the size? Oh no, that's way too big. Why does that matter? And as far as it's too many people. Like, it's nearly 10,000 people. That's ridiculous. Oh, geez, Well, and no one knows for starters, I guess. But what I found on Oasis class ships is, because it is larger, there is so much to do. People are spread out and doing their thing, that I never waited in one line or queue on board Harmony of the Seas, other than getting off the ship and like waiting to go through customs. That was the only time there was a line. So it's and the other thing about people saying, it's too big and too many people, is they're not cruisers anyway. Like, if you are a cruiser and I understand that people like smaller ships, but I talk about this to someone the other day. Let's say, for myself, I go to the schooner bar, I go to the pub, I go to the theatre. I love the shows. What else? I go to specialty restaurants and the solarium. So they're the 5 places I go, and the casino. 6 people. So, but it doesn't matter if it's a Radiance class ship or a Voyager class or a Oasis. I'm still only gonna go to those venues because that's where I go. That's where I hang out. That's what I enjoy. So it doesn't matter whether. You see what I'm saying? So, and I think it's the same with other people, but it's the headlines, or it's that initial shock factor of, how big is it? How many people? No, thank you. Give it a go and then get back to me. The monstrosity. as long as it floats. Well, and that's it, John. I'm sure if anything's going to happen, it'll happen before we get there. So who knows? Jeff cannot wait for a lure. I cannot wait for you to go on a lure. Andrew, more chance of meeting the same people again and again on a smaller ship. Again, I believe another urban myth, because the thing is, again, I go to the schooner bar, or I go to the pub, or I go to the casino, or I go to the solarium. Guess what? Like-minded people go to those places. And so I'll see, it might be 2 or 3 different couples that go to the pub every night or every second night. I keep bumping into them there. And same with the solarium. On a sea day, you just keep bumping into the same. So on Icon, I'm going to the swim up bar. That's where, that's a must and a given every day. I'm going to the swim up bar. So guess what? That's where I'll be. So I'll probably keep bumping into the same people because they want to do that too, or you know what I mean? So, and it's funny when you have been on a ship for say 6 days, and then all of a sudden you see someone, you're like, hang on a minute, I never knew you were on board. Like, I haven't seen you all cruise. But, and again, it doesn't matter if it's a small or large. Robert, the falls, but go to the one with a little further out, as the Cascade Falls is privately owned and not great for the locals. There you go. Size doesn't matter. I thought you said size does matter. It doesn't for me. David, hello. The only time a large ship gets crowded is when a show gets out or there is another event in a public area. 10 minutes later, the crowd is gone. Yeah, but even it doesn't matter if it's a large ship or a small ship. Like, when the show gets out on the Radiance or the Brilliance, there's still that bottleneck of, 500 people leaving out of the theatre. So totally. Okay, I wasn't nervous to go on Quantum after Explorer, and it was great. Don't think it will be any different going from Quantum to Icon. There you go. Absolutely. Even the deck levels of cabins, I assume that there's more deck levels of cabins, because for Icon, I think you have the promenade, you're still going to have your Central Park, you're going to have your board. No, there's not a boardwalk because it's the surf side. But there's 3, I think there's 3 levels, which is very common on a lot of Royal Caribbean ships. Radiance, they might have 2 levels because you've got, say, the casino level and then the shop level, right? And then you've got the cabins, whereas the majority of Quantum, Oasis, that kind of thing, you've got your casino. What is it? Casino. Voyager class, you've got ice skating, casino, promenade. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Icon, 19 decks. I want to say there's more. I want to say Icon will be different. It will be amazing. Hi, Joy. I see the same people all the time when I go to the supermarket. Oh, I like that. That's gold. Robert, can't wait for Anthem to come to Brisbane. I wish I didn't read that. How rude. All I want is a different class of ship. And yes, Brilliance is coming down to Australia. And yes, I'm on board going on a cruise, but still, and Josh isn't here, where it's like, yeah, it's 22 years old already. But I would love just a different class of ship. I'm going to be I'm just looking up Icon. So you can go into Royal Caribbean app, look up your cruises, click on any cruise, and then just not that I want to make you wrong, John. I'm sensing a theme with Pippa. Casino, shops, casino. No, I said theatre. I said bars. I said solarium. All right. Let's go to decks. Okay, deck 2 would be medical. No. Okay, so deck 2 is just the gangways because the medical's on deck 3 on Icon, along with the music hall. So they can go straight from the music hall when there's a punch up or something and then go into medical. Dining. All right, let's go. Deck 20. Don't want to say I was right, but okay. So deck 20 is the water slides. Alcohol, repeat. Matthew, for October, the key is at a good price. Andrew, trying all classes, booked on enchantment, brilliance, freedom, ovation, and allure. Absolutely nice. One of my favorite classes, freedom, freedom class. Very nice. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know, because I assume you've been on Voyager or Explorer. All right. My beautiful husband's going to go get me something. So let's just hope he remembers. Explorer was my first in 2018. Okay, nice. Freedom is a beautiful ship. So we've talked about Port Vila, talked about group cruises. Halloween is coming up. What did I say? 104 days. I have, there was a guy. Will the shirts be available to purchase soon? Yes, Matthew. Hopefully this coming week. How's the puppy? She's adorable. Apparently today she was very bitey. I looked it up that dogs chewing, teething, 6 months. 6 months they could be chewers for. But she's just adorable. Okay, just looked up the deck plan for Icon. There are 20 decks. Yes. Tony, hello. How are you? Thank you for joining me on YouTube. Cheryl, hello. We're doing Icon in August. Yes. I cannot wait. And I've said I've got friends that are going on there 2 weeks earlier, and so they will be doing a lot of recon for me. Very cool. Now, what was I about to? So I work on the water on ferries, and today there was a guy that got on, and he was in costume per se. It was a prawn costume. It looked awesome. And so that just made me thinking, because I love shrimp cocktails on board the ship. And I'm like, well, I could, if I could go as a prawn. But I forgot. I have costumes in my cupboard, and I'm probably going to take a couple of those. Because for the Halloween group cruise, I kind of want to dress up every night just because I can. So why not? So, very good. Joy, have you booked a cruise on Brilliance? Yes, I have. We have, and I'm looking forward to revisiting some of the smaller islands, Isle of Pines, Loof, Murray, and of course, Mystery Island and Noumea. That's awesome. I didn't look at the itineraries because originally we'd booked on, was it the Enchantment? No, the Serenade, then the Enchantment, and then it got moved to the Brilliance. Was that right? And so my Brilliance cruise is just to Hobart overnight, which I'm looking forward to. I love Hobart, and I don't know, it'll be interesting being back on a small ship. I definitely think I'll be hanging out in the schooner bar and the casino. I look forward to seeing the shows on board. Definitely just a different show. Sounds great. The islands will be open, Robert. What are you talking about? Brahman, we're on the Halloween cruise. If you want, you can still be a part of Ocean Time Group Cruise. If you want, check out, where is it? Let's see if I can put it up. There we go. Check out this, and if you become a Patreon member, you can be a part of any of the Ocean Time Group cruises. Doesn't matter how you booked on the cruise, but you can be a part of it. So if you're interested, reach out. Very cool. Are you dressing up? What are you dressing up as? This is what I'm finding it difficult to commit to a costume. I also want to compliment my husband, like sort of not matching costumes, but just an ensemble. The ice skating on Explorer was amazing. My first ice skating show was on Mariner, and I agree, it was amazing. They had the ice skaters, and normally on any show, there's two people that are principals that stand out, that do a lot of flips and tricks and turns. But the one that we had on the Mariner, the first time I watched it, was one of those quick dress. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it was a bit magician-y like, where the skater would step into a hoop, and then this guy would come up, lift the hoop up, put it down, and she'd be in a different outfit. And they would do it to each other throughout the show, and just this quick change. It was fantastic. I loved it. Jeff, that sounds right. As my Alaskan cruise started on Serenade, then Enchantment, and then finally on Brilliance. Yeah. I don't know if that's ever happened before, where, we're swapping ships out left, right, and center. Matthew, I made it could be this week with my costumes, because I wish I could speak English. You got costumes. Awesome. Andrew, also be on Brilliance to Hobart in January. There you go. Mine's in March. I think it's Easter. Mine is. How do people become a member of the Patreon OT? Thank you, Robert. So like I posted, just go to oceantime.com.au, click on Ocean Time Cruiser, and which is that link. I don't know. Can you click on that? Or was it copy and paste? If you click on that, does anything happen? Or can you copy and paste it? Does something happen? Let me know. That would be great. And explains it all to you. So go on, check out oceantime.com.au. No, it doesn't. Okay. Well, just go on to oceantime.com.au. Whoops, what have I done? There we go. So yeah, just go to that website and look for Ocean Time cruises. Yes, they had the same on Explorer. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I loved it. The shows, and then the Navigator on the ice skating show on the Navigator, they have drones. The music is fantastic. Love that. Put it in the chat. Oh, okay. Thank you, Robert. So do I put www? Oh, that went to, no, went to both. Okay, cool. So can people just click on that, but then they'll be taken away? It's all good. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to dressing up. I should talk about that. With the holiday that I just went on, 3.5 weeks, Hawaii, Vegas, then cruising. What I packed was not all wrong, but I should have packed very differently. I know better now, and I think it's a case of actually even forgetting. Like, I will go back and look at YouTube videos of myself packing and stuff, and I'll go, "Oh, gee, that was really good advice." So, "Oh, I totally forgot about that." You have to be reminded of how to pack, and it was the first time in what, 2.5 years, even though yeah, that I traveled, went away for a long time, or holidayed on land. I think that's the difference, because I wear a lot of dresses on cruises, and when I was on land, I don't, not as much. So when it comes to the Halloween group cruise, because I'll be having costumes, I don't necessarily have to take the same amount of clothes that I would wear every day if I'm wearing a costume. You see what I'm saying? What did you do wrong? Oh, I when I was in Hawaii and Vegas, I basically wore shorts and t-shirts during the day, and pretty much the same in the evening, depending on what we were doing. If we were, like, when we went out in Vegas, I would wear maybe jeans and a nice shirt. Like, it was just different, more casual, um, being, on land holiday, to when I got on board the ship, where I would be wearing a different dress every night, kind of thing. That's the difference. And packing accordingly, as in, one packing cube was for Hawaii, or Hawaii and Vegas. So instead of having to unpack, like, I just couldn't wait to get on board the ship to unpack fully. And it was just wrong. Do you need more casual stuff? That's what I wanted. That's what I did in Hawaii and Vegas. Robert, poor Andrew would need to make 2 trips to the BICT to drop off your Halloween cruise luggage. No, 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 no. It'll be in 1, maybe 2. Well, depends. Like, have you guys seen my pineapple mascot costume? If I took that, and I really should take that, it'll be funny. All right. Well, I'm going to go because I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. Crazy. Thank you so much for joining me. I always really appreciate it. Love talking cruising, travel, anything. As always, please reach out if you have any questions, because I love talking about cruising. All right. Have an amazing week. Check out some cruises. Actually, and maybe next week I want to talk about, I've cruised on P&O, no, Princess. I cruised on Princess, but it's still, I want to sort of get into the mind of someone who has cruised Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Princess, NCL, P&O, and then they go back and they still cruise all those different cruises, like cruise lines. I want to get into the mind of that, because for myself, hi Dale, thank you for joining. I not only that I love Royal, but I know what I'm going to get, and I know what to expect, and I know how to deal with it, and that's why I love it. Like, that's why I cruise Royal. Now, I'm cruising Celebrity Cruise Lines next year, yes. But for me, I worked for Celebrity. They're a sister company to Royal Caribbean. Again, I know what to expect, but I don't think it's that much of a leap. Like, to me, it'll still be the same. I say that now. Maybe when I get on there, I'll go be blown away and go, oh, could you imagine? That's it. I'm only cruising Celebrity. Anyway. Hi, Philippa. All right, so let's talk about that next week. Someone please remind me. All right. I agree. No way am I cruising other lines unless for a specific reason. I know, it's funny. I've got friends that they're like family or friends have birthday parties or birthday celebrations, but they're going on Carnival or they're going on P&O, and it's like, that's why I went on the cruise, because it was their celebration. Like, they couldn't do anything, but they knew that it was just gonna be different. All right. Thanks for being on board. See you later.